I just woke up from a extremely vivid dream. I'm not gonna forget this one. Let me get right into it because it was the most terrifying, real. I just witnessed the end of the earth. The end of the earth. So I was not in this house. So I was in a different house. And everyone was there. My cousins. It was just one of those situations where everyone was represented in the dream. So it's a regular day, regular, average, everyday kind of day. Sunny, blue skies day. Ooh. Then I heard God say, now they'll listen. Now they'll listen. And the earth cracked in half, like at a mountain. Like it was literally like, picture the loudest sound everyone in the world heard. It was like boom was the way it sounded. I know it's early in the morning. Did not mean to do that, but that's the way. I just lived it. At that point, everything caught on fire. It was like, once the earth cracked at that mountain, I know it was a mountain because like when I looked out the window, it was a mountain. Like it was like camp, like it was like the earth. It looked like it was a meteor. It was the earth cracking. So it was literally like you could see the foundation of the earth in the sky cracking that landed at a mountain. It was not a meteor that hit the mountain. No, it was the earth cracking. Like the sky, everything cracked open. And it was like just boom, like the loudest. In my dream, it was the loudest sound I ever heard in a dream. You know what I mean? It was like, I can't even explain. It just felt like it tore apart your own brain. You know what I mean? And at that point, when everything started on fire at the mountain, it spread from the mountain out. So in my dream, I was saying God told me this, that we'll have time from the moment it cracks. It ain't like we're gonna instantly die, kind of thing. But it is gonna be normal up until the day it cracks. That's what he showed me. So when when the earth cracked and the fire was coming from, like it was spreading from the mountain, everyone on earth was like like not tripping, but worse than tripping. Like, oh my goodness. Like, oh well, earth cracked. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, and I knowing what was going on meant if the earth cracked, that meant the water was gone. Like the only water we were going to have was the water inside our water heaters, was what I knew. You know what I mean? And so I'm literally like, I'm screaming at my family, get containers, fill up water. Whatever you do, fill up water. I'm screaming at everyone. Get water, get water. And we're filling up containers, filling up the tub, filling up everything we could fill up with water. And my cousin Keela, she was just kind of laying there like this. And I was like, what are you doing? Help me. We gotta get water. We gotta fill up the water because and then like she looked out and the fire was slowly coming towards us. But, oh, that's important. Well, first let me get through this. The fire was slowly coming towards us, okay? But fast, because it's the whole earth. You know what I mean? Slowly, but fast. It wasn't at us yet. We probably had about 2 hours before it got to us, you know? And I'm like, girl, get up, help me, help me. And she like, whatever, just whatever. Oh well. And I looked at her, like my cousin doesn't have a son, right? But there was a little baby boy, like a 5-year-old, 4-year-old boy, light skinned little boy laying there. And I say, but you gotta do this for him. He got the right to inherit the earth. No, the strong will survive. Get the water, get the water. And it was like at that moment, it finally hit her that somebody could survive. These babies could survive if we act quickly, if we do what we needed to do quickly. We could help them, you know. But it was like, you know that movie The Road? That's what happened to the earth. Like that's what it felt like, that movie The Road. Okay. Um so then uh that was the major thing of the movie. I mean, not movie. It wasn't a movie. It felt like a movie. It was a seriously, like, my apartment. It felt like an apartment. I don't know. I was in a new home. It felt so real. It felt so real, guys. Like, but I did not feel like we were doomed to die. I felt like we were doomed to try. You get what I'm saying? Not to die. Like everybody was gonna die. But we could try not to die. If that makes sense. And that was the dream. That was it. In a nutshell, the whole thing was like a disaster movie. But here's the key points. The earth cracked. And it was literally God did it. God literally said, oh, y'all not gonna listen. Oh, you need to see me? The horrible and terrible day of the Lord. You need to see me? That was the way the feeling was just before it cracked. It was as if God was saying, oh, y'all really are not going to do any better. Oh. And it was, you know how they tell you that there's a meteor. This wasn't a meteor. I know what I saw. You know how something seals or unseals, like a Ziploc bag, or not a Ziploc bag. Let's go better than that. That one where you know the shrink wrap bag, how it, you get what I'm saying? Or ice forming. There we go. Ooh. Ice. Have you ever watched snowflake freeze? It was like that. You know how they go and it freezes? So picture the earth cracking like that with the loudest sound you've ever heard in your life. Like it cracked your soul. And then it created fire. Like fire was coming. Oh, by the way, the mountain felt like it was near New York. Yeah. Because every time I looked out, I saw the city. It was like this feeling of the city was where the initial crack was running from. You get what I'm saying? It, like the fire was coming from that mountain. But it was flowing towards us, if that makes sense. Like lava. But it wasn't lava. It was fire. It was just fire. It was almost like the fire had legs. And that's all I could do was fill up water, put babies in water. Like, literally, that's all I could do. but it was like the world was complacent around me. I'm literally like, come on, y'all. We can survive. They were just like, what? You want me to get water? Okay. And I'm literally like, okay, let's get the water, you know? But it was, the world was like, I don't even explain it. But my cousin Keela in particular was the person that, my cousin is a doctor, right? You know, she's the one in the family that like made it. You get what I'm saying? She's the one that we all look up to. You get what I'm saying? For her to be like, that's how she was acting about the crack. Laid down. Like, and I'm literally like, your baby though. Your baby. We have water in our water heaters. We can literally put the babies in the tubs. And we could perish if that's the case. But the babies could be in the tubs. It was like, there was no desire to protect the babies. Nobody. I felt like I was a one-woman army begging everybody to help me. Oh, it was a very scary dream. It was a very hard dream. To be that alone during something cracking over the earth. To be that alone while the earth is cracking open. And being surrounded by people. But completely alone, because everybody was like, only person who was with me was Livy. Livy was on it in the dream. My baby was on it. She's like, all right, Ma, I got it. All right, there's water in the heater. Like, you know, she was on it with me. Everybody else was just like, yeah. So that's important to know. Those are the key points to this dream. It felt like it came from New York. The fire was spreading outwardly from there, is what it felt like in the dream. It was from the earth cracking in half. Don't let them tell you, like, it wasn't a, that's another thing about the dream. It wasn't a meteor or nothing like that. I know what I saw. When I looked up in that sky, it was like watching a snowflake form or unform. You know what I mean? It was like, I can't even explain it. It was like the sky undid a seal all the way to that mountain. And when that seal came open, that's when everything over at that mountain caught on fire. So it looked like it was a meteor. It wasn't. It was the earth cracking. It was the seal breaking. That's what it looked like, a seal. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like if you had something shrink wrapped and then you put a nail in it, and you know how you put a nail in something that's shrink wrapped, and then the plastic tear like zoop. That's what the earth did, but the sky did it. That's the crazy part too. It wasn't the ground, the sky did it, as if the sky wasn't air. You know what I mean? Like as if it was plastic, like it was shrink wrapped. So that's another key point to it. It was definitely the veil breaking. It was definitely the earth cracking in half. When that happened, water disappeared instantly. Instantly. All the water was gone. Like from the moment it cracked, the only water that you had was what was in your house. And it was like, even though I thought I had a lot of water, I ain't had no water compared to the fact that I don't need the water to drink. I need the water to cover our bodies from the fire. It was so scary. And that's another thing I thought about in the dream. I thought, like, oh, thank God you got all this water. You know, like, I've been collecting water. Thank God you got the water. That water wasn't for drinking. Like, in my dream, I remember thinking, thank God you got the water for drinking, because you're going to have to pour this on everyone. Ah, I mean, think about that decision, knowing the earth is dying or whatever was happening, and having to make the decision from the drinking water to the surviving water. There's different water. You know what I mean? Like, drinking water is different than surviving water. I know, right? You would think drinking water was surviving water. No, you need more water, guys. Because you're going to need water to stop the fire. You're going to need water to submerge yourself in. You're going to need water for submersion. You're going to need to baptize type water. You're going to need tubs of water. So that you don't got to feel like I felt. I literally felt like, drink it or pour it on us. I chose to pour it on the children. Knowing that we weren't going to have no water, but the fire was coming. It was so real, y'all. It was so real. Like, and I had to make all the decisions because everybody was. So yeah, that was my decision. Pour the water on the children. Put the children in the tubs and pour the water on them. And let us die, but at least they'll be sitting in water. It was the scariest dream I've ever had in my life. Because it was so real. Oh, another thing. It was a normal day. That's another thing. It was no indicators that was going to happen that day. That's what I felt in my dream, too. It was like, I've been trying to calculate the dates forever. You know, in my dream, because it was real. My dream felt real. And it was like, when it happened, it was like, oh, so this is the day. But I remember thinking to myself, going, there's nothing spectacular about this day except for the sky was super clear. So that's how I saw the tear. The sky, there was not a cloud in the sky. That's how I saw the tear. It was like, oh, or I felt like it was a tear. So it was a beautiful day. And then the sky cracked. The sky, right? So it ain't even the earth. The earth, I've always thought of the earth as just the ground. It's the sky too. It's definitely the sky too. So I'm sorry to get on here just crying. But I had to tell y'all this dream. I didn't want another moment of my day. I didn't want to get started on my day. It's so vivid. Water, y'all. Water, get water. Like your life depend on it. Like, water. Water, water, as much as you can. Because that's another thing. As soon as the earth cracked, that water instantly left. It was literally like, crack, water gone. and the only water you had was the water in like your water heaters, in your the water you've been collecting, like jugs. That's why we were so blessed. We felt rich because we had been collecting gallons of water. But at that point, I had to make the choice: do I drink, save this, that maybe somebody could drink it, or do I fill up the tubs, fill up stuff with it so that I could put the babies in it? I chose the babies. I'm not mad about it, but I'm like, wow, I don't got enough water. You know, it's one of those things where you felt extremely blessed, but then you're like, this ain't this is like they gonna survive for maybe another 2 hours because of this water, not a long time. But that's the thing too. I felt like when it all said and done, who God wanted to survive would be left standing. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like evil was gonna make it. That was a great feeling. It didn't feel like evil was gonna make it. They couldn't. They were dull. They couldn't make it. They were dull. It was like I felt like picture being the weak one. I feel like the weak one. So picture being the weak one, or the baby, or the youngest, or the dumb one, the black sheep. Picture being that, but having to be a general in an army that ain't no army, but everybody about to die if somebody don't do something. Everybody was dull. They didn't do nothing. So it was this like, while everybody else was like, you know, they was crying, but they weren't doing anything. Nobody was doing anything. So there was this feeling that we could survive. There was this feeling that if you were ready, if you love God, if you knew what to do, like if you had studied, if you understood, you could survive. And then you had to choose who was gonna survive. I chose the kids. Oh, oh. It's important. Teach these babies as fast as you can. These babies don't know nothing about God. None of them. None of them, guys. So who's really gonna survive if nobody know nothing about God? Nobody. Not the babies either. You get what I'm saying? Teach these children. Teach them fast. They want to know about God. They just don't know how to ask you. They don't know how to ask. But they will listen. Start talking about God. You gonna watch your teenagers just sit there listening. They don't get me wrong. They gonna probably debate with you, but they're hungry for him because they know it's coming. They just don't know how to say it. They don't know how to. They feel it in their hearts too. So you got, trust me, these kids want to know about God. Teach them about this Bible. Teach them about the words of God. Teach them about physics. Teach them about the elements. Teach these kids as fast as you can. Because they're going to be the only ones to survive. Why? Because we're gonna die for them. I know I was ready to die for them. It was just a decision that had to be made. So teach the kids. Teach your teenage boys. God, teach your teenage boys that Bible, please. Your daughters need you to. They gonna need, so, like when it happened, they're gonna be shocked. Everyone's gonna be standing still. It's the day the earth stood still kind of thing, you know? But if they're ready, like if you got them ready, like you prepared them like for a tornado warning, but you got them ready to think and act, they can survive. But if they're dull, if they're stuck, they're not gonna survive it. Teach, 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 teach. I can't say it enough. That's gonna be my new focus. Teach these children. Cause that's the one thing I knew. I knew that the kids could survive it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's my shirt. That's not. I mean, I thought it was something else, but it was. I'm sorry. Thank God for the laugh. I looked at the camera like, what's that? No. I'm sorry. Let me sit up. Teach these kids, cause they gonna be stuck, and the kids gonna be stuck, and the adults dull out. You know, because the kids wanted to know. Now I see why in all my dreams I was always leading a band of young teenagers, you know, or old teenagers, young people, but you know, in their early 20s, you know, and teens. Now I see why, because the adults were, that's how they were acting. Like, woe is me. And it was like they were wanting the kids to die. You know, it was literally like they wanted it to be over. And I'm telling you, my cousin is one of the strongest women I know. Smart. She got that thing. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what's making me feel like, why her? Is because she's the one I didn't think was gonna get the thing, but got the thing. And yeah, in my dream, she laid on the couch. She laid on the couch just like this. And her baby was there. But she ain't had no baby. Like in real life, she older than me. She ain't got no baby. She got some grandkids. But I had to beg her to do something. She, like, beg her to do something for that little boy. I said, look at him. Look at him. He deserves to live. I was screaming. I was like screaming at her, look at him. You better look at him. He deserves to live. Get up. She didn't get up. I don't know. I don't remember her getting up. I remember me deciding, I looked at her baby. He was a little light-skinned boy. Like probably about 4 or 5 years old. That's when I made the decision. He gonna live, even if we don't. He gonna live. So now I know what's gonna happen. I don't even wonder. Nothing's gonna happen until that day. On that day. Now I see why he says stuff like on that day, in that day, because it really is a day. Everything was normal. Very normal. But now I see it's definitely gonna be a day. Like now I get why the movie is called The Day the Earth Stood Still. Now I get it. Cause wow. I've seen it. It's official. I've seen it. You can't tell me I ain't see it. I saw it. I don't know what day it's gonna happen. Still don't know. Even in the dream, I remember thinking in the dream, I've been trying to figure out this day forever. So it was literally as it was unsealing or cracking. I literally went, oh, so this is the day. But I don't know what that day was. I just know it was a clear, beautiful day. So let me give you some dates that God has been giving me. 1/22, 2023. 3/22, 2023. 1/23, 2023. Daylight Savings Time Day. What's that? 3/12? That day. Daylight Savings Time Day is a big one. What's that? 3/12. Y'all look up 3/12 or 3/16 as dates. March 16th, March 12th. So those are the dates of concern for me. 1/22. So January 22nd, 2023 is a day of concern for me. January 23rd, 2023 is a day of concern for me. Oh, February 26th. Remember the dream about the 26th, y'all? Guess what else I found out happened on the 26th? Moses was born and died February 26th. That's a day of concern. So the day after that would be a day of concern. This year, guess what? This year, Andar 7 falls on February 28th. So the next day would be the day after Moses' covenant. You know? So that's something to look into. And 15 days later is Daylight Savings Day. Right? That Bible says count 15 days, right? From that day. So 3/12 is a big day of concern for me. So we got February 26th is a day of concern. Not February 28th, even though that's Andar 7th, but February 26th. Because remember what God said. He said 26. 3/12. That's daylight savings time. Oh, January 22nd is Lunar New Year. New Moon Day? Sounds like. I don't know. So I just want to give you, other than that, I have no days of concern. This is rhythmic. You know, the things that's going on, this ritual or whatever's going on is rhythmic. So it's going with a geometry, a symmetry. So, you know, it's just important for you to know those are days of concern. Nobody knows the day, time, or hour. God even proved it to me. I don't know. In my dream, I'm telling you, I literally went, like it felt like, did you get the money? Is it on the? No, that wasn't the day I chose. You get in my dream. I remember feeling like, oh, like that. Oh, I don't know. I didn't get this date, you know. But it's just important to tell you the days of concern. Also, there's that Skull and Bones. Y'all got. Oh, God told me to tell you, go watch Rosewood. Go watch Rosewood. Y'all remember Rosewood, that movie? It's a true story. Go watch it. God told me that's coming for the hood. That's what God told me. That's coming for the hood. Rosewood gonna happen again. But I probably gonna happen on that day. You know, because I'm telling you, everybody was dolls. People could have came in and killed us. I was the only fighter in that house. It was hard. Me and the kids. I was the only fighter in that house. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to let you go. I literally woke up and just started telling you guys this dream. But this one I ain't never going to forget. It's one of the most vivid dreams I've ever seen. Like, now I get like I'm a soldier on the battlefield. I feel bad for all the people that took the shot. Because they're going dull when it comes to God stuff. When it comes to God stuff, they are. That's what it felt like in the dream. Because me and Keela ain't got no reason to live with me. Keela got bank. Like, she ain't got a reason to live with me. The only reason why she'd be in that dream is because she the one that, you know, that happened. So, that's the only thing I could think of. And I love her. And she the last person that would sit complacent. In real life, last person. I would call her a quarterback of this family. Like, she's the person that would handle it. It's like she couldn't. All she could do is sit sad. Sit sad. That's what they do. Everybody was sitting sad. And it was like, I could just tell y'all, like, keep your childlikeness. Find your joy. If you ain't got childlikeness, find it and keep it. Because it felt like that's what separated me from them, if that makes sense. It felt like I was one of the teenagers with them, but a grown up. You get what I'm saying? It was like that's what separated the people, was age mind frame. Like the ability to believe that you can, or the ability to believe. Let me turn this TV down. The ability to be naive enough to believe that you can win. That was the difference between myself and the older adults. It's like they didn't believe they could. You know, it wasn't even arrogant. I want you to know, because the look on my face probably was a little arrogant. No, the look on their face was sad, sitting sad. So that was the look. It wasn't, I don't want you to think like, like they were saying, forget God. They weren't doing that. It was just more like they gave up. But me and the teenagers they didn't have the idea of give up. It was try. It was just try. Ah. And it was hard being the oldest adult, having to make all the decisions, not knowing if your decisions were going to be all right or... That was hard for me. Y'all know me. Somebody else do it for me, you know? But that was hard. Because I chose to pour the water on the babies instead of drinking it. It was like, it felt like the moment I poured the water, there wasn't a future for me anyways. But at least maybe those babies could have it. Because it was the point if we all burned up. You know, what's the point? There's no point if we all burn up. So at least I knew if I submerged that little boy in that tub, when I burnt up, he would have at least the time for water to evaporate to live. But God told me, like, that's another thing in the dream. It felt like he could. Like, there was going to be survivors. You just needed to know how to survive. You needed to know that Bible. You needed to know physics, like, you know, basic understandings of science and life. And you just needed to know some things. So teach. Teach, guys, at all costs. If you love kids, if you love your teenagers around you, yes, I know I'm telling you, teach teenagers, but my daughter is taught. My teenagers are taught. Yes, I look crazy when I talk to my kids. My kids even think I look crazy, but then something happens on the news or something happens later on where they're literally like, yeah, my mama said that was going to happen. So teach them their lives, their will to survive. Children, these young people's will to survive depends on if you'll teach them. So teach. Start off with Proverbs. And you ain't even got to. They can read now, right? All you got to do is tell them, read me Proverbs. What that mean? Ask them questions. They think they know everything anyways, right? So grab that book. Tell them, go get that Bible. Read me them Proverbs. What that say? What that mean to you? Why you think that? That's all you got to do. But you got to. You got to, or it's going to be like, I saw a TV show or a movie. No, it's a TV show. All the people didn't live past 22. It was like that. So it's watching children be generals of armies, but they're children. So if they don't know nothing about God, you gotta teach them now while you can. That's the water that we need. That's the extra water. Yeah, that's the extra water. It's teaching these kids. Make that, like, if you love them, make it a game, any means necessary. Make it a movie, any means necessary. Force them to sit down and read you that Bible. They had to read you when they was 5, and that was, that was painstaking. It was. I got be sitting there listening to a 5-year-old read like, oh God. But now you got young adults. Listen to them read that Bible to you. And then challenge them on their views and opinions. Fast. That's the only time we got left, y'all. Because remember what I said, it's going to look normal all the way up until that day. So you better teach them babies. Because that day is going to be like, and if you don't know what to do, you're going to do some bad things. You're not going to do nothing if you don't know what to do. Because I ain't going to lie, I was mad at the other adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, if God wasn't in me, I could see me beating him up. I could see me beating up the other adults if God wasn't in me. Let's say I love the kids, but my thought process was about making sure the kids survive. But let's say I didn't have God in me. I would have beat up all those adults. I would have acted a fool on them adults. I would have started stabbing adults to get them out my way so I could save these babies. Real talk. Only reason that didn't happen like that is because I love God in the dream. You get what I'm saying? The dream, because I love God, I felt bad for the adults. You know what I mean? But I was mad. Don't get me wrong. I was mad. Because oh. It felt like I was lifting the weight of the world trying to help these kids. And the adults was so... Picture the end of the world and people sitting there like this. No, the earth done cracked. You know that somebody gonna survive. You feel it in your soul. Why not you, you know? I felt like the weight of the world, lifting the weight of the world to get them people to move. Oh, this important, this important. Might be something nuclear. It's important. Like I told you, I saw the earth crack. I know God did it. But as the fire was coming closer, like, because remember, it started off at that mountain. But as it was coming closer, it got whiter and whiter and whiter, to the point where I knew this is where nuclear fusion happens on Earth naturally. It's like how they knew about it. You know what I mean? So this was natural nuclear fusion coming towards us. Naturally. Like if it occurred, not nobody did it. Ain't nobody split no atoms or whatever they do to make nuclear fusion. God did it. And it was coming, splitting atoms the closer it got. It was like, that's why the fire changed from fire to the whitest glow the closer it got to us. It wasn't fire. Like, you know how when you saw those fires in California at night and they were right on the side of the road? That's what it looked like when it was far away. When it got closer, that fire looked like a nuclear fusion. That's what that, it was white, glowing, white, like bright enough. The closer it got, the lighter it got in the world. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that's important to know. It has something to do with nuclear fusion on a natural level. Oh, this is another thing. Baking soda water. Look it up. Please don't do, there's something called, it's on the TV right now, outbreak of thyroidosis. This was something that happened to thyroid, I don't know how to pronounce it, okay? EDCs, look this up. EDCs, endocrine disrupting compounds, okay? EDCs, look them up. I'm just giving you stuff to study. I don't know what to do about it, but I know that's what's happening. Oh, EDCs might be what's in that, hence why they did that. So look that stuff up. There's attack on your, it's fangirl. I'm not gonna feel, what I got to lose? They're attacking people's endocrine systems. Look this up, man. Now the trans, like to actually transition goal makes sense. Because the medicines for that get thrown down the sink or in the whatever, that's what they say about them. But the medicines from those kind of things are the ones that are EDCs. And that's really bad for us. That has something, the endocrine system has something to do with frequency too. It's hormones. It's free, like it's, if there's a way to render you, the endocrine system did it. You get what I'm saying? If there is a way to have you out here like this, or running in circles, mentally can't move, thoughts off, EDC would do it. Or a way to tap into vibration and frequency, and the EDC would do it. Look into it. I'm a liar. I'm lying. You better look into those that got ears to hear. You better look into what I'm saying though. EDCs. If there's a Rosewood Day, God said go watch that movie Rosewood. Go watch it. If you black, go watch Rosewood. If you white, go watch Rosewood. Real talk. It's a real event that happened in American history. These types of events have happened so much in American history. But God said Rosewood coming again. And there ain't gonna be no man in the building. No, I'm not saying that to dog men. No, that's on the movie Rosewood. The man, he kept leaving. His name was Man. But he was like, this ain't my fight. He left. This ain't my fight. He left again. Then finally he came back after everybody was killed in the city. All the men was basically the last man because he kept running away. Okay. It's the truth. You gotta watch the movie. Don't get me wrong. In the movie, he was the hero, but not to me, because he left them people so many times to where I'm like, of course he survived. He kept leaving. But you gotta go watch that movie, because God told me that's coming. And know this. If what I'm saying is someone's gonna survive, now, my soul or my hope tells me evil won't survive. But if evil does survive, slavery is coming for the people of God that survived. So you better know your Bible. You better know, like Elijah, like it's time to be a general on the strategic. Wake up, because if you're dull, slavery is coming. I've been telling y'all this for 3 years now. God told me slavery coming. Baking soda, thyroid. I just started thinking about thyroid again. Look it up. How does sodium bicarbonate affect the endocrine system? That's what you got to look up. Sodium bicarbonate. I believe that's the cure to all illness. So all of it, like Hep B and HIV and like any virus that anyone has. I personally, I don't know. I've been looking into it, but look into sodium bicarbonate and neutralizing viruses, acid, pH level. Look into that thing. Sebi, go look into him. Why does man claim to cure everything and now he dead? Use our own brains, because we are at war and don't even know it. Like, what happened to Deborah Tavares, y'all? Everything that woman said was true. Let's pray for her, you know? But she used to talk about a book that was Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars. This is a silent war, you can tell. This is definitely a silent. What was the name of the book? Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, or Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars. It's time for y'all. We got to start acting like it. And let it be a quiet war for us too. Just get your water. The Bible says, Amos 8 says that young people will wander, like going to one coast to the next coast looking for water, and they will not find it. Wow. It's all there in the Bible. And God said he won't be mocked. So even if a man wrote the Bible, the moment you say God said, the truth gonna be said. You can't stop it. You can't change it. And if you do change it, you'll die. That's what God told me. Like, people who mock him die, flat out. But that Bible is true, even though a man wrote it. Because the moment you say God said, you are in jeopardy of hellfire if God gonna make it like he said. Like, he gonna make the definitions of the word be exactly what he said. Even if you was trying to lie on him. You get what I'm saying? God will not be mocked. First Corinthians chapter 10. Read that today. I'm going to come back and read that to y'all later. But read that. Why, if you up with me right now, First Corinthians chapter 10 and 11. Remember, we don't read verses. We read whole chapters around here. Because we are not going to take his word out of context to make a point. But yeah, go read that. That's important. And all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't think there's anything else. I think I did what God was telling me to do to the fullness thereof. Tell that dream. Oh look, oh, y'all should have saw that. Symptoms of thyroid or whatever I was telling y'all about, thyroidosis or whatever, is heart failure, muscle aches and pains, mental confusion. I wish I would have got it on because they're like talking about it on TV. The whole family got thyroid poisoning, but that little boy, and that little boy don't eat meat. That's what this show is about.
It was the same plant which supplied the Long's grocery store with their specialty hamburger, the extra lean ground beef. Samples of the hamburger were collected for analysis and taken to a local pathologist. Using a cryostat, a portion of the hamburger was frozen in a matter of seconds. We convert the tissue
So
to a block of ice that makes the tissue frozen.
Hamburger was like contaminated with animal thyroid. So like if they grind up the thyroid of the cow too, it'll make you sick. See? Animal thyroid was mixed into the...
Thyroid contains extremely high levels of thyroid hormones. Was it possible that this was causing the outbreak of thyrotoxicosis in the two small communities? To find out, doctors conducted...
So it's called thyroid toxicosis. Just the fact that that's possible. Juices and berries, anyone? But the little boy didn't eat meat. So the whole family got sick, but that one teenager. Wow. But it was because he didn't like meat. That's going to... Like, I'm destined to die if meat is the problem. I love meat. I don't think... Look, I'm literally going to be sitting there like, you sure, God? Look, now I just got dull. Like, what you mean I can't have no meat? All right, guys, I'm going to let you go now. I said that like 4 times, but I just want to make sure. I keep trying to make sure I'm not missing nothing, which I'm glad I didn't leave too soon because y'all got a chance to see what's going on. It's called thyroid toxicosis. All of its symptoms is the symptoms of fibromyalgia, dementia, stuff like that. I told you there was a such thing as the EDC in our water. Now the pain we're in makes sense. So we just got to get healthy, y'all. Let's study, right? Let's study like our health, but not by what they say. Forget what they say. Let's go get down to the smallest element of it. Let's do this on some what forms mucus, what creates mucus, what destroys mucus, like a scientist. Like, let's put salt on a slug type thing when it comes to our health. Because they obviously been lying to us. You know what I mean? Let's be one of those people. I mean, you know, let's be real scientists and diligent about our own health, you know? Ah, antioxidants. God's been telling me about antioxidants a lot lately. Like free radicals. Look into this. Just Google it. Help me study. I don't know. But free radicals in your diet is important. And because it's going to be like, I want to find a way to strengthen you against free radicals. Because on that day, oh, it's going to be some free radicals. So we got to get strong to free radicals before that day. That's the goal. Let's position ourselves. Okay, I feel it. I feel it, Father. Let's position ourselves to be ready for that day. Because I'm telling you, that day, it was pure pandemonium. What if on that day we could literally be like, grab the water, Livy, grab this. Like, we move like a well-oiled machine. Let's do that. I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. That's going to be my focus, is how to make sure my crew is a well-oiled machine on that day. Amen. All right, I love you guys. God bless. We gonna be all right. We are. I know I just told you about a fire dream, nuclear fusion. It ain't fire, it's nuclear fusion. I know I told you about all that, but I know that's why he's telling us. Why tell us? I feel like people will survive. I feel it in my soul. Only the strong will survive. But for lack of knowledge, my people shall perish. So maybe we get knowledgeable so that on that day, we'll be able to be like, you know, like, get the thing. Everybody knows what they're doing, whose position's what. That's the way we gonna be. I don't know about you and your family, but me and my family gonna be ready. God bless. Love you. Bye.